in my ass.
I just banged your wife?
Name of this garbage show again that I'm on.
Total non-stop impact.
My name's John, capital letter E, period, Bravo, and you're listening to the Total Non-Stop Impact Podcast.
This is the jaw-jacking Tuesday Night Impact, and his mother called him son because he shines like one. Mocha Skin Manimal, Rohit Raju, and you are watching Total Non-Stop Impact.
This is Kaya La Güera Loca, and you are listening to Total Non-Stop Impact.
The Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and you're listening to Total Non-Stop Impact.
We are the Rascals, and you are listening to Total
Non-Stop
Impact Podcast, baby.
Woo! And what you're really listening to is Total Non-Stop Impact. Don't you dare miss a lesson. Oh, yeah.
What's up, Impact Wrestling? Let's make some noise!
Sitting here, you guys got a 15-minute intro of putting yourselves over while I'm sitting here and watching J-Bone and Kaylon and you're 50. I never saw a 15-minute intro of three guys putting themselves over.
This is the good stuff.
Welcome back, everybody, to Total Non-Stop Impact Talk for Impact fans, featured right here on the TNI Network. This is Trent, my co-host J-Bone and Bill, and somewhere Kaylon's in here. And this is the TNI Throwback NWA-TNA number 37 review, all the way back March 19, 2003. Gentlemen, what's happening tonight? What's going on?
Sup? It's throwback time.
I'm telling you, man.
Throwback Thursday. What a day. What
another
a day.
Throwback. Another throwback, gentlemen. Another throwback. It's a Thursday night. We've got to twist all this around. TNA used to be on Wednesday nights, but then Impact on Spike was on Thursdays,
yeah. So I still feel the Thursday. I get the weekly pay-per-view Wednesday, but Impact to me always feels like a Thursday show.
It is a Thursday.
Now a Tuesday show, but TNA, I'll say TNA feels like a Thursday show.
Yeah.
Impact is now a Tuesday show.
Yeah, that's true.
It feels like a Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
So what's going on, gentlemen? What's happening? What's new? It's only been a few days, and we were just on with the main show and After Dark just 2 days ago. So, but what's anything happened in the last 2 days? How's it going? How's life?
Oh, I'm just fried lately. What's
going on with you, Jay? But what's happening here? What's happening? Talk to us about it, Jay.
Oh, it's just personal life stuff going on. It's the podcast world is booming for us. You know, I'm going nonstop, but it's the one thing that's honestly helping me keep sane.
Really?
In just everything that's going on. Yeah, man. When I can sit here, I can rap with you guys, and it just takes me out of real life for a little bit. You know, it's
okay. All right, Bill. What's new with you? No sub pump issues this week. No computer.
No. I did yesterday, the other day on the explosion, which
yesterday.
we were kind of telling people we're going to be trying that for the next couple weeks. But right before that one, with the old laptop gave out as it was sitting here, I had to plug it in a new battery, but it's doing good. It's doing good. So everything's all good.
Nice.
But yeah, just keeping busy with work the last couple days. So had a lot of things going on. Just a crazy world out there. This is, but stuff's going, which is good. The world's moving. It keeps moving, even though a lot of us feel like we're not moving. The world continues while this is all going on. But I'm with Jay on this. This is because I was just talking to Paul in the chat right before we started here, and I know obviously today was a bad day for cases and deaths and all with
what happened?
The virus. Today was I think it was the all-time numbers wise of deaths today.
In the country or just
in the country? Wow, in the country, I think. So it's just obviously every time you think stuff might be like turn the corner, you get one of these things and it kind of turns it all around. But like I say there, like hopefully we can be like a nice diversion for a little bit, go back in time. But it's interesting because I know you're about to stay our weekly Where Were You? I know where I was.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, let me set it up. Let me set it up.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, we're going to NWA-TNA number 37, the Asylum, the TNA Asylum in Nashville, Tennessee, March 19th, 2003. Now, I was on Dave's couch in his living room watching it. We just paid $10 and we're watching it live. But Bill, where were you on March 19th, 2003? What were you doing?
I can tell you because we'll go over how the show opens, but there was a major event going on at this time.
Yes.
There was the invasion of Iraq.
Yes, that was a big one.
I was watching the news. I was definitely with a female friend at the time, and we were watching probably some CNN. I don't know if that start MSNBC was on yet, but I think it might have been early MSNBC days. But I probably CNN. I probably would have been on some CNN watching what was going on, and I'm sure muttering things to myself as it was going on. We're going after, and I even wrote it while I was doing the hacksaw. It's like we're going after the wrong person.
Oh, geez, yeah,
Osama in Iraq.
Yeah, the speech at the beginning, we're gonna get to in a second. If you're watching it out of context, you really don't know. You're like, where was this coming from?
It took me a second. I'm like, okay, there's got to be something going on, but I didn't do any research. But I was like, okay,
most likely you can.
Something happened.
Well, Jay, what about you? What were you doing? Or who were you doing? What were you doing? Yeah, 2003 there, Jay Bone. What's going on with you?
You know what? What's funny, and I was just thinking of a proper response to this while Bill was giving his. I can tell you that I really don't know what I was doing on this date back in 2003, but today is a very special day. It is my daughter's birthday, and I can tell you what I was doing 20 years ago.
All right.
I was in the room with my wife, and let's see, at this time that we're doing this live right now, Morgan was approximately 12 hours old right now.
Nice.
So 20 years ago, it's her 20th birthday today.
Big 2-0, man. J-Bone's the father of a 20-year-old. And, you know, J-Bone's raising kids, Bill. Like, he's raising people. You know, he's supporting, emotionally supporting people. You and I are too busy thinking, you know, what items are going to release next on Shop Impact that we can buy for ourselves? You know, there's no kids to buy.
Are we sort of raising Kyle?
Kind of, a little bit. I feel like I am in a way. In a way, that's a good one. Yeah, it's a good call out.
In a roundabout sort of way here, I'll for those of you who don't know, I'll let you behind the behind the wall for a moment. For those of you who don't know me very well, this is me, obviously, the gorgeous me. It's my wife over here and Morgan in the middle. This is the night that she busted her shit.
Oh,
yes, you were talking about that.
That's right. You talked about it. She busted her ankle, right?
Yeah, I actually wished her happy birthday at midnight last night. So
awesome.
It was right after I went to Taco Bell. I had Taco Bell after all the podcasting we did yesterday. I went to Taco Bell. I said, screw it. I'm not cooking. I went to Taco Bell. So yes, this is my lovely daughter, Morgan.
Morgan, all right. Well, guys, hey, all you animals in the chat, that's her father hosting the show here. So take it easy, all right? Take
it easy.
Very nice. Mir's asking, who is this Dave guy I keep talking about? This is one of my best friends, Dave Virgilio. I'm trying to get him on the show. He's agreed to do it. We just got to work it out. He's got kids and stuff. I got to work out a good time and day where he can plan for it. Yeah, exactly. He's got kids. But Dave and I watched, not only do we watch every single Wednesday night show, we attended several indies together in the early 2000s, TNA shows, house shows. We made trips together. Basically, what Bill, like he's like your buddy. You were just my tag team partner on the Indies, man.
He's like my buddy Dave. Yeah, we go to
have a Dave
all the shows in this area. And now obviously he's going to Indiana and stuff, so he's getting a little more crazy like me.
Yeah.
But,
so me and my Dave, we were doing that. Then he had to go get married and shit. But today's his anniversary, actually, wedding anniversary. Today it all ended.
Congrats to Dave.
I got a great story. I'm going to tell this when Dave's on, but I have a great story about one time his now wife she used to sit there with us and watch, but she'd usually pass out. Like she wasn't really watching or paying attention. She'd just kind of hang out with us. And so we'd watch. And it was funny because one day him and I were arguing about something that happened on like TNA 37, and it was like we're in the 80s. I'm like, no, AJ Styles. You know what? He's like, no, dude, he didn't. It's like, no, dude, I'm telling you, we're going back and forth. And she's like, we're thinking she's out. She goes, no, Sonny Siaki, blah, blah, blah. He did this. AJ Styles got pinned by so-and-so. It was like this. That set up a rematch for next week. We're both like, what the fuck? Like, you were paying attention to all this shit?
That's funny.
To this day, one of our favorite stories with Miss Katie Virgilia, Mrs. Dave. So, so he'll definitely be on the show. He's a very, very good friend of mine, and he's got a lot of early TNA history too. So,
maybe we should bring her on the show too.
Yeah, I know. We might as well get the missus on the show too.
She knows the deets.
Yeah. Any news between Tuesday and now? I don't think there's anything really broke, guys. Right? Was there anything? You got something, Bill?
I'm double checking my notes here to see if I do have any new news. Let's see. Since we went on,
quick check the website, but beyond Emergence, I don't think we have anything.
Emergence has shaped up to be an amazing card. Night one, it's almost like it happened by secret.
Yes.
Like I look at I'm like, what? All these got announced? If you really think about it, Tuesday was a very, very important show on Access. That was what a great show. They set up an entire pay-per-view basically card. They kind of finalized it in one show. It was fantastic. So if you guys have not seen this week's Impact on Access TV, check it out.
Oh, there are some digital exclusives.
Okay,
on the website. I'm not going to play them.
No, just mention them.
But there's one with Trey Miguel and there's one with Brian Myers. So that's something to check out. Someone new that debuted this past episode. The photo gallery from Mr. We know him, we love him, Mr. Basil.
Yeah,
it's up for this past week.
He's down there now. I talked to him.
Yes,
he's down. He's down there in Nashville. They started tapings today.
Yeah.
So the Bound for Glory run is taping. There's 8 tapings going on, including a special. So you're going to get an Impact Plus special.
I heard about that special.
And he's told me he didn't. He's like, no, I'm not spoiling anything for you, but these are a lot of fun right now. You are in for a treat. So definitely, I am very psyched on the Bound for Glory special.
IPWF.
Yes, we'll see. We'll see, man. But anyway, let's jump in, guys. Not too much news. Let's jump into it. March 19th, 03, Nashville Asylum. We open up like I said, out of context. If you didn't know what was going on, Jim Duggan's in the ring, and kind of timing was great that they had him booked around this time because. So here I'm going to set it up, and then Bill, you could talk about what was happening around that time in the world. We just start with Jim Duggan, and he's just rallying everybody about America, pride, just being proud of your country, supporting. He even starts running down the Dixie Chicks. Like this is around the time that they killed their career, which they just started coming back with now. We're calling themselves
just the Chicks.
Yeah, just the Chicks now. He's running them down, and he's like, we're gonna go to war alongside Australia, Germany, and England. You could stay out of the way. It's like I was like, holy! Yeah. And this was great, guys. He leads the crowd in a Pledge of Allegiance.
He does.
I'm talking elementary school style Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh,
I feel he did that back in like the Desert Storm. I feel like there was like a WWF show at the time, and he did the same thing. It was very reminiscent. I feel like it was a pay-per-view, like Survivor Series time frame, and he did the same thing.
You're right. There was. But he's rallying everybody against, with the USA chant. And so, Bill, tell us. Like, I wrote in my parentheses, I'm like, was this before we invaded Iraq, and you said it was, right? This is around.
Yeah,
this is the day.
This is 19th. This is when they started the air invasion. So like you were seeing that night footage of the stuff going off, like that was this day. And then the next day they started with the ground invasion. So like this is like right in the heat. So this is like 24-hour news is cycling this as this is going on, and you could definitely tell. Like even like J-Bone's favorite Lollipop had the American flag stuck in the shorts. We'll call it a pocket.
Is in the shorts.
And then like the little kids are having the little flags.
Yeah.
There was definitely a plant sign right behind Don and Mike of like love it or leave it, support the troops, that they were making sure it got on camera. At one point, I think one of the security guards looked like he was about to wail on some kids that they got in front of the sign.
Oh, really?
I didn't catch
that.
During their first one, like you could see him. He was supposed to stay off camera, but he kept kind of butting on camera to kind of say, "Get out of here! Get out of here!"
I didn't catch that. That's funny.
So it's the older security guard. Obviously, that was the guy heading up the group.
Right.
So, like they definitely had like this is a U.S. patriotism show. So we're getting that across tonight, guys.
Well, think about it, right, Jay? You're in Nashville, Tennessee. You are in Heartland South. You know, this is America. This is pride. I'm talking. These guys. You know, this is the part of the country where they fly the flag year round. So this was. I mean, you had that crowd hot. And I mean, honestly, what better guy to do it than Hacksaw, right?
Oh yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. That guy still to this day could get a crowd riled up.
It's true.
The flag. I've loved him since I was a little kid, and it just doesn't get better than that. You got to think the country just and not to get into politics and shit. That's everything that's going on with this country now. It's such a hot mess. But the country was in such a different political state back almost 20 years ago. You got to remember, this is a year out from 9/11.
A year and a half.
Yeah. And, so the country still was in a very different place. It was just a different time. It was like a completely different country back then.
And I feel like you're going to see something similar as we come out of this pandemic. You know, it took a couple years to kind of feel normal again after that. You know, it was like, I mean, and that's one thing. And I'm going to say this, and then this might sound very markish, but I got to say, the one thing people really take from pro wrestling is that it's like this constant. It's like this constant that runs parallel with whatever craziness is happening in the world. Like even now. Pandemic going on, the world's shutting down. Wrestling found a way to be on, you know, and it's like we can escape a couple times a week, especially Tuesday nights when we do the main show, and we all just kind of get together here and we're all hanging out, and it's like, the world's falling apart, but we can at least hang out over here, and that's kind of what it was, because wrestling fans, you guys know as well as I do, when you talk about years, we tend to think in what was happening in wrestling that year. Like we can always be like, oh, 2003, that's when so-and-so was champion. It's like, okay, cool. Now I can pivot off of that. Like it's very markish, but it's like an easy like pivot point. And it was always this constant to escape. And so you almost were in this little bubble for a couple times a week while the world was like healing itself from all this shit. And then you'd have those glimpses like this, you know, 9/11 and the invasion of Iraq and all that stuff. And it was like, it's crazy. It was such a weird time to be there, but at least you had these escapes like we got now. Honestly, it's shocking that we're able to still get wrestling now, even in some capacity. And it reminded me of like when I saw this today with the Hacksaw thing, it reminded me completely of like now. I'm like, holy shit. Just saying, it's almost like what we're going through in a way, you know, like we have this war going on, but in here it's like, hey, come on, let's all just have a good time here.
Yeah,
it's pretty nuts.
Speaking of patriotism, I always think of my brother right here, fellow veteran.
Well, veteran, thank you for the service. Deactivate user, we appreciate it.
Love you, Styles.
Thank you, Styles. Thank you. So yeah, USA chant, very, very patriotic moment. We get disco comes right out. We Sports Entertainment Xtreme. No, wasted no time here. The music's blasting. Also, sound guy was on this show. Perfect.
Yeah.
Sound
maybe
was
replaced at this point.
It must have, because the volume was real nice. Like, that music would kick on this show. Like, that's what he needs to be.
It was a slick production tonight.
It was, because I noticed the crowd was mic'd nicely. It was loud. The music would just fucking hit, when it needed to. I was like, man, they must have fired the old sound guy, because it was.
Well, Trent, you just hit it. The whole mic the crowd. Whenever that happens, that day the crowd comes back.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't have the crowd mic'd properly that night, we got to throw our hands up.
Absolutely, because there's some times
the day.
I've checked with Bill sometimes, and I'm like, Bill, tell me, there's no way that crowd was as quiet as it came off on TV. He's like, not at all. Like, we're coming apart over that. I go, dude, they don't like the fucking crowd in today's Impact, and I'm like, they really got to up that game. And I'm shocked they haven't yet. But
yeah, and it's different when you're outside. Like, everything right now, as far as like indie stuff, is like a majority of it, is outside, especially the stuff that Bill's going to. And it's really hard to check the crowd to see exactly what's going on, because all that noise goes straight up. If you think of like your typical even on big scale, like a WrestleMania, all the noise goes straight up because it's open stadium.
Exactly.
But yeah, so.
Well, I'll give a little shout out to a friend of the show while plugging another show a little bit, Rohit, because he was on Ethan on his channel on Twitch, went live earlier this afternoon, briefly, and it was his crew. I think someone gave the nickname of the crew with Jake and Ethan and Josh, but they were in the car taking a few questions, and someone asked about like wanting fans at Bound for Glory, and they're all like, "Yeah, we want fans, but like we don't think it's going to happen." And then like so I think one of them said, "Well, how about if it was outdoors?" And Rohit was real quick to say, and it's the same thing I say, it wouldn't work outdoors for a pay-per-view, for TV production, outdoors for these very reasons you're saying. It'd be such limited capacity, and the look of it just wouldn't want to be what they want to present.
No, and according to Billy Body, he's saying that WWE is looking to run SummerSlam in Atlantic City. That's the latest rumor now. I don't know if you've heard that.
I heard they were going to do it in that Orlando arena where the Magic play, and they're trying to either do fake fans like baseball's doing, or virtual fans, or like the NBA where they have video screens of people cheering.
I gotta say, I think it's worked out real well with the empty arena. I mean, Slammiversary came off nice, and the way they shoot, it's great. The lights take up the
think
space.
It's great.
I think it's perfect. You don't need it right now. Get to January, we'll see where we're at. Maybe Hard to Kill can be with fans. Let's see where we're at.
These other ones, they want to present. They have a different idea. These other companies than what Impact does. Impact's just focused. We're focused on the ring. We're ignoring everything else, which I think that's a smart play by them.
I think it's
other
a smart
ones are so focused on that. Then, like I know that that other company, I call them the company down south. They had fans of some kind at a show yesterday, and I don't think they're getting a lot of positive feedback on that. So it's probably not. It's not time yet for a big promotion for a TV product to do it. You're not going to look good. There's going to be too many people that go. Because everybody has to follow the rules. You have to look like you've done everything. And if you get any type of after effect of people getting sick, you're gonna be 10 steps back.
That's it. You're screwed.
They're doing the right thing right now.
Yeah, it's screwed. You're screwed if that's what happens. So, no, listen. Impact's proven it. Look, we're already in mid-August at this point. You know what I mean? Like, what at this point, you got one more quarter to go in the year. Just get through it. Let's see where everybody's evaluating in January. My office included. They're all like, "Hey, we'll come back in January." Every business I know is saying, "We'll look at January."
I think that's what it's looking like, because I know my company was trying to do like every 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
Guess what? Those messages, they stopped.
They stopped. Yeah, we got an email today at mine. We were going to open September 8th. They said, "No, we're not going to. We'll open up the workspace if you need to get out of the house, if you got kids yelling at you." But
that's exactly. More people came in for that reason. Either like, I just can't take it anymore. I need a place to go. Like, I was in the office for a little bit the other day. But a few more people there because it's always been open, but very limited people, except for like people in our warehouse and production. Yeah. But like in the office, it's been a skeleton crew, a couple more skeletons added, maybe a Manny Bones type added, but that's about it.
So that said, that's what it's going to be for wrestling. I think get through the year, evaluate in January, and see where things are at. But so we'll see, guys. In the meantime, enjoy. I think they're doing a hell of a job. Impact's doing a phenomenal job with the Empty Arena. It's fantastic to me. Kevin Martin in the chat. How you doing, Kevin?
Appreciate it. Yeah. Big kudos still to Kevin Martin for the watch along Tuesday.
Can we just give Kevin Martin a round of applause? Came through to help us out, to make sure we helped all the fans out during the Twitch glitch going on. We were able to keep the stream going, get everybody caught up. Fantastic. We saved the day. We got a hell of a lot of new Twitch followers, so thank you guys.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, went way beyond 300. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, so yeah, let's keep going. So anyway, the disco comes out, Sports Entertainment Xtreme is there. They're right into it. Music's blasting. He calls D'Lo out, and he dresses D'Lo, then he calls him out. D'Lo comes out very hesitantly with a chair in his hand. And this I thought was funny. He makes Siaki apologize to D'Lo. He apologized. He straight up was like, I'm sorry for what I did. I'm gonna try to do my Sonny Siaki impersonation because that, as you know, that comes into play later on. I'm sorry for what I did. So he says he's trying to basically get D'Lo a turn, right? It's like, Jarrett's using you. Why do you think he's already helping you out? He's already coming in your aid. You got a title shot. You don't think he's got an ulterior motive? He's like, we're offering you true friendship. And then Jarrett comes out and says a weird thing, guys. He's like, I was just on the phone with Vince McMahon in the back. And he wants you to come back and he wants to make you a star now. And I was like, okay. But innocent times, maybe 3 people believed it, I guess. It's like, yeah, Vince, I gotta do this thing with D'Lo. Give me. Oh, I love that guy back, pal. Shit, let him know I miss him. Sorry about the fire.
He said, if you believe what these guys are telling you, then I got something even better for you. And then he told the Vince thing.
Oh, is that okay? So I misinterpreted.
Yeah. Okay. He's okay. He's like, you're crazy if you believe these guys. But then what's funny is, I tell you, it's how they spun this is freaking genius.
It was really well done.
Because they had D'Lo really double thinking stuff. They did the zoom in on his face, and he's got this perplexed look. Look, I'm using those big $5 words today.
$5 words.
$5 words, y'all.
Disco had he had some great lines in there too. Disco,
he did.
He made him think.
Disco's fantastic. I do like how Jarrett's like, well, I got rid of Russo. I cut the head off of Sports Entertainment Xtreme, but the ass looks like it took over. Which I thought was a great line.
That was good.
He just starts using the Russo friendship hanging in the balance, kind of just using that as the median between the two. And he tells D'Lo, trust him. D'Lo isn't buying it, and so he demands his promised title shot. So D'Lo's, no, I want my title shot. This is bullshit. Before anything can happen, though, I guess they're calling the new Next Generation, right? Was that officially
Next Generation?
Yeah, Next Generation. So that's Erik Watts.
Accused him of wanting a damn handout.
Yeah, exactly. That too. Erik Watts, David Flair, and Brian Lawler come out, attack Jarrett. D'Lo then saves Jarrett, and then Dusty saves both of them. AMW come out. Truth comes out of nowhere and pledges his allegiance to tradition and hugs Jarrett. It's a hug on Jarrett. Yeah, just that brother
for R-Truth.
Huge. Tradition stands tall at the end of that segment. So hot segment. I mean, starting off hot. Boom. You go right into it. You are setting up your theme of the night. Which again, this hot starts are so, man, that you need to set your tone. That's your tone setter. And I remember it was a big running joke when companies got into this mindset of you guys remember this back, there was an era of time where every wrestling show would start off with a 20-minute fucking promo.
Yeah.
To lay out your night. It's like, come, Jesus Christ. Like, are you kidding? And every show started doing it. And I was like, come on. So this is how you start a show.
They even do it today. It's like,
oh, God. Start of the promo to me is the biggest like buzzkill ever. Like you come out just a promo.
I mean, it's got to be something really freaking hot if it's gonna be something to start out the show, you know?
Yeah,
and that's rare. That's few and far between. You can you get someone that can do that,
like,
pull that off,
like a return or a debut or something. It's got to be boom.
Yeah, something shocking or something where someone comes out, hey, Chili, hello.
And even now, now it's so hard to pull that off because there's no audience, there's no pop, you know. So
yeah, it's true. You paused right when I thought you were gonna have something else to say. It was like there's no period on that sentence.
Oh,
there's no audience. There's no, and I'm like, what,
wait.
What?
There's no pounds.
Yeah.
I must have cut out. I said there's no audience.
Oh, it's weird to like cut out for a second because there's like no period at the end.
I'm sorry. There's no audience. There's no pop. So it's even harder to get that. If you're going to do that at the start of the show, it's even harder to get that across.
True. Well, I want to address a comment here real quick. Jose wants Impact in Chile. Jose, if you want, on Tuesday night, you can watch with us. We will stream it right here on Twitch. So on twitch.tv/Total Nonstop Impact, you can watch it with us live on Tuesday night. Just letting you know that.
The link is down in the description.
Yeah, get the link. You're watching on Facebook. The link is where you're watching right now. So join us on Tuesday. Yeah. All right, we go to a very Raven promo. He's in the ring with a lot empty ring, a lot of weapons.
Yes, his decayed estate.
The what?
His decayed estate, as he calls it.
Decayed estate. I like that. Just addressing AJ and he's interfering with his fate, his destiny. It's my destiny. You know, I love it. It's like it's become such a mission for Raven at this point. The destiny.
Yeah, I love the hitting of the trash cans as he was saying stuff.
Yes, Raven's a fantastic promo. Forever,
unbelievable.
Forever will be one of the best promos in wrestling history and best minds. But he almost his own worst enemy because he was very passionate. He made his name. But like he was so casual because like to him it's like whatever, you know. I'll just get by. Like he's so low key about stuff that he was just kind of like whatever. Like can you imagine if Raven? He's one of those guys like, you know, he's a member of Mensa. The guy's a genius. He's just one of the smart kids who didn't apply himself kind of thing. You know, like if you'd only applied yourself, you'd be running your own company.
Professional wrestler.
He's fantastic though, so good. We go to the tag team title match. It's Triple X taking on the New Church. I was putting over the New Church heavy on Twitter today during this match. I don't know if you guys saw that. I was video clipping. I was at We Talk Impact on Twitter. I was video clipping pictures. I made a vow. I said, we got to share the New Church. I even put out a very bold tweet. And I said, just put them in the Hall of Fame, guys. Put them in the Hall of Fame. And I found an article of James Storm actually saying if anyone deserves to be in the Impact Hall of Fame, it's New Church. James Storm saying it. Yeah.
Was that recently or was that a while back?
A couple years ago.
Okay.
And he was saying that nobody really understands how much they helped all the young guys back then. Mm-hmm. Wolfie D, who was Slash, and then Brian Lee, who was total veteran, Bulldozer, Brian Lee. He said they helped the young guys so much. He goes, anybody deserves to be in that Hall of Fame. It's a New Church. And I said, that's fantastic. So I put a couple clips out. You know, I always tag everybody. I tag Impact Plus, and my only hope is that people see it and they start making some noise on it.
Yeah.
Will you pop if you get a flashback one of these weeks and it's Disciples of the New Church?
You know, I mean,
you'll be like, give me that flashback. Give me that flashback.
Yeah, exactly. That's my thing too. I think you should switch off on the flashbacks. Right? You should go to different eras. You know, flashback of TNI, which they do. I've seen a couple on Twitch where, like last week, they showed Sandman winning the Hard 10 tournament. You know, things like that. Like they show all sorts of like eras, but don't keep repeating the same guys. Like show that variety of people that came through the company. You know, a lot of people came through this company. Show that off. But no, this was a great match. Really good. A lot of interference though. It was that whole Freebird rule, right? It was like they were all just all over. I didn't even know who were the legal guys in this one. Like who were the two legal guys?
Daniels was out of this one.
Daniels out. Okay.
Yeah, it was Skipper and Loki.
Because they were interfering so damn much. And I was like, who the fuck's illegal to in this match?
Yeah, it was almost impossible. I mean,
yeah, it was.
What's so funny is now my memory back here is a little fuzzy. Was this Mike Posey's debut? Because I don't remember.
I put the same thing. I believe he is. Who was just back with Impact recently, kind of pre-pandemic.
He was
so funny. Yeah, he was on AEW last night, getting his ass handed to him from was it Matt Hardy? And what do you know? One night later, we're watching the Throwback.
Yeah,
and he gets taken out by Malice in this one. It's just absolutely hilarious. I was like, wow, it's like almost 20 years apart.
Yeah,
he's still getting his ass handed to a poor guy.
And then, like, because he was an official here briefly, and then he becomes a wrestler in TNA for a little bit.
Posey?
Yeah, well, he does.
Really?
I don't know if he ever gets. It might be more Explosion. I think it's within the next year.
Are you kidding? Really? I didn't know. I don't remember him wrestling. I know he's a ref.
And then he also had like he had like a different gimmick. He went by his name, and then he had like a gimmick too.
Really, Mike Posey? I'm looking at it right now. No kidding. Yeah, he definitely held some titles. He definitely held some wrestling titles.
So that's why he can take those bumps.
No kidding. He took a hell of a bump.
Oh, there you go.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. I never knew.
He had a name, something like Kid A or something like that.
It was Kid USA.
Kid USA. There we go. I think he wore something as Kid USA.
That's the most generic fucking name ever. Kid USA. No, he wrestled though. He was actually still wrestling. He wrestled this year, and his last match was in February of this year at PWA. So he's still working.
Well, yeah. When I ran into him in Vegas at the tapings, like he was just coming on. Like he was like although I'll give it to the Impact officials like Toll and then Posey at the time. Like those guys are gym rats. Like they're always at the gym.
Yeah, that's true. No, they look good. I mean, they listen to their work.
Stay in shape for flying around the ring and sliding and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right though, Bill. He wrestled a lot of Explosion back in the day. He team with like Delirious, Nate Webb. You know, those guys.
I think that's where I remember him from an early Spider Nate Webb match.
No kidding. He did actually. I'm looking here. Let's see. He did actually wrestle
pay-per-view or two.
He made number 107 and 108. He wrestles later on the weeklies. So we'll see him in about 70 episodes.
We'll see him post-pandemic. Hopefully.
Yeah, no kidding. Shit, man. I can only hope, guys. But interesting. I totally did not put together. I know. Referee Nate talks highly of him. I think they cross paths, and he's a Mike Posey guy. So, but this match was fantastic. Capped off by the fact so there's a lot of interference and shit. Malice makes a surprise return, and he's fired up, huh, J-Bone? He is like fired up coming back. He's super excited to be back there, which I love. I love Malice, man.
He completely was. I'm trying to think who hit him first. Was that Skipper that went after him?
Mm-hmm.
And he completely no-sold Skipper and just looked at him. His eyes were bugging out of his head, and he just started clobbering everybody, including, like you said, including the ref. It was great.
Oh, he's the monster Malice. They kept getting
6'9".
But I gotta say, they stood tall at the end. I mean, it was DQ, but they still tall at the end. I mean, this was the prime New Church from 30 weeks ago. I'm talking Brian Lee / Malice, Jim Mitchell. Like that's the family right there. And that ending shot.
Don't call him Jim, Father.
That ending shot, which I took a little clip of and I put it on We Talk Impact on Twitter, where Slash and Brian Lee get on the ropes and pose, Mitchell in the middle. If only Malice was looking to the hard camera, he was looking at the other side. That would have been one of the most iconic photos of like the family right there. But he's looking the other way. He's got his back to the hard cam.
And I was shocked to see Malice, and I had to look, not to get negative, or sad or whatever, but I was like, wait a minute, he showed up here, and I had to look up and see when he passed away. It's only 3 months later. It's like, oh man,
I got December. He dies in December, so about 7 months later.
Oh,
same year.
The side I looked at was wrong then.
They got December 6th. Oh,
fake wrestling news.
Fake wrestling news. They
unless well, hang on a second. It was that cage match, whatever. But I know they do some like German stuff. Don't the people in Europe like reverse date numbers?
They do. They
maybe that's what I flip. Maybe that's what
day, month, year. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was.
Well, because of that, Jay, I gotta play it at least once, guys. I gotta play just because J-Bone reported wrong data. It's
Longing for that fake wrestling news. Don't believe anything that you read on the internet.
every time it doesn't get old.
I'll take it. I'll take it. All good.
There was also a I'll call it a mini debut in this match.
Which one?
When JB's giving the introductions for the tag title, he had a haircut. He became serious JB from starting now.
Oh, the frosted tips are gone?
hair. The frosted tips are gone. He became like a working man.
Hey, he was an executive at this point, man. He was on the team.
Like, no more frosted tips. No more frosted tips.
Oh man, JB. I met him twice. He was cordial, but he clearly didn't give a shit to meet any fans. Like that guy had no interest in meeting fans, which is weird to me. He was cordial, but I had to fuck away.
But he was around so long. I mean, I don't know if it's like you just kind of get cold after a while.
I think so. Wrestling will make you callous. It'll do that to you. So anyways, we go from that. The sit down, Erik Watts and Mike Tenay. There is a fantastic moment that I screenshotted that will be going up tomorrow. And you guys, and Bill's laughing because he knows exactly what I'm talking about during the sit down. Well, break down the sit down, Bill. What do you got? You got any notes for the sit down here?
Well, all right. You get to sit down with Erik Watts. First of all you notice is Erik Watts in the chair, moving all over the place. He's just fidgeting all around. He's like working the side angle. He's doing all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So today starts out, wants to talk about his history, his college career, things like that. He's giving him nothing. He's giving him nothing. He puts it out there, but he's like, everyone knows my history. Like he's like, I don't need to talk about it. Everybody knows my history.
So and then put him over. That's the thing. He's trying to get him put over.
Yeah, he was. He was trying to get him put over.
Yeah.
And then he talks about like that you want to know answers, but I'm not going to give you answers. He's like, I'm going to give you a little bit each week. I gave you a little. I gave you a little more. Maybe next week I'll give you a little more, but I'm not giving it. And he goes, I wouldn't deal the hand out. He's like almost like aces and eights. He's like, I'm not going to deal you the hand. I'm going to wait to deal it out to you.
Cue the angry Tenay face.
well, that's near the end. Everybody in Twitch is all angry Tenay faces. But then it's like to Mike Tenay asks him, well, who's to blame for like he hasn't been for a couple of years? Like why hasn't he succeeded? Pretty much, he's pretty much saying, well, what's been the problem, Erik? Well, who's been holding you back? And then he's like, who isn't to blame? Who isn't to blame? He's like, he talks about the old man, he talks about the cowboy, and he's like, it's everybody there, and they're keeping me down. He's like they feel wronged by my dad, so they're all screwing me. Everybody, Jeff Jarrett, everybody. And then he asks about the whole regret. What's it mean?
Regret.
He's like, it's to make him think. It's like to make him think. I'll tell you when you need to know about it. You'll know when you need to know. So he's not happy, and I think this is where Trent's getting to. So then he's like pretty much ending the interview, and he goes, "Next time, why don't you wear a nice jacket?" Because he's wearing like a
windbreaker or whatever, right?
Yeah, he's wearing a windbreaker. Which is very out of character for Tenay wearing a windbreaker on one of these.
He's probably just chilling. I mean, he's a dad,
Yeah, but he's not wearing. He's like, why don't you try to dress up next time? Wear something presentable. And then he gets up, and we get to zoom in on angry Tenay face.
Angry Tenay face. And it was a slow sitcom zoom of him just.
Oh yeah, it was just. I'm angry.
It was so good. Like angry Tenay face is my favorite thing. Absolutely love Angry TNA face.
So, for all those that aren't on Twitch, you should go there right now and just put Angry TNA faces. But you do need to subscribe, right? That's what you need. You need to subscribe to get that privilege of doing the Angry TNA face. But I just did it right now. It's so worth it.
It is. It is. If you subscribe, you get the Angry TNA face, and then the Johnny Swinger one is going to be ready for this coming week. So,
oh baby.
And 6 more subs, and we get a third one. We get a third one then. That's going to be great.
Sub.
So, all right, we go to the Sports Entertainment Xtreme locker room, and this is great because Disco's upset. They're falling apart. Everybody's losing. You guys are fun. Hey, this is terrible. I told Russo I'd keep it together. Blah, blah, blah. Sanders walks in, and he starts impersonating Sonny Siaki. I said, it's no, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, dude, he's fucking hilarious. Like making fun of Siaki, just shitting on him. Just shitting on him. He's like, what? And then Disco just slaps him. Just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? They're beeping this too. Fuck is wrong? I'm sick of this bullshit. And he slaps him.
I'll tell you, Sanders is doing a great job. It almost feels like a shoot. The stuff with Sanders.
I'm telling you,
weeks.
I think this is how Russo writes with that. Like, hey, let's not script everything. Yeah. Because you want that real reaction from these guys.
Yeah, like did Sonny know he was going to do an impression?
No, I don't think. Look at Sonny's face.
I don't think he did.
He kind of.
He takes a second to realize it's an impression of him,
exactly.
And then he gets pissed.
It was hilarious. I mean, he was doing it so good, and you're like, yeah, Sonny does talk weird, but that reaction was great. Like they just you don't have to script everything. Let the guys improv a little bit, get the true raw reaction back. But it was funny. He gets bitch slapped, as Rex is saying right here. He totally slapped the shit out of him. And then he goes, and you,
that's not the only time in this episode either.
That's true. He tells Holly Woods, though, he goes, what, you're good for nothing.
Oh, he calls her something.
Yeah, what did he call her?
They had to beep it out. They went with he called her a slut.
Yeah, that's right. He's a little slut. He goes, now I want you to go out there and show Athena's boobs to the whole world. Like, straight up, just show her boobs. I was like,
that's now the gimmick. That's the gimmick.
Just showing boobs. It was great. All right, now J-Bone's favorite segment right here. Conan with the interrogators.
Oh, yeah. First they say the interrogation chamber. So then I'm like, they totally bailed on it. But then we get the return of the intro.
The intro with the pose. Jay, what are your notes on the interrogation?
Yeah, the pose.
The Conan was. I didn't write this stuff down. I'm going to try to remember.
This might be the best one.
Really? All right, good.
Conan was just uncensored gold here. The best one that was what was they asked him you got to pick one or the other for a lot of these. One was J-Lo or Christina Aguilera. He's like, how about you have all three at a party, get out some champagne, strawberries, and assume the position face down, ass up. I was like, oh
yeah, it was fuck. I was like, damn, this guy. I'm like, the TNA just keeps straight, man. He's like, okay, next answer, next question. He calls out Eric Bischoff a punk ass bitch. He calls him.
A couple people get punk ass bitches.
Who else got punk ass bitch? Somebody else did.
Jerry Lynn.
Jerry Lynn's punk ass bitch. Yep. Fubu, or he said Fubu, or what was the other
retro
brand?
Jerseys.
Retro jerseys, and he's like retro jerseys. I'll leave Fubu to Buff Bagwell and Lex Luger or something. I was like,
is it Buff Bagwell or Diamond Dallas Page?
Yeah, Diamond Dallas Page. That's right. I was like, just some weird ass answers.
And then his thing with Raven or AJ Styles or something like that. I forget what he said about Raven.
Oh, the AJ line's best line of the night.
AJ, he said, oh, you can toss my salad and peel my potatoes or something like that.
Yeah, that's a Conan line.
That is.
And then you see TNA doesn't even sell it. He just goes into the next question. That's one of my favorite Conan lines is you can toss my salad and peel my potatoes. I always love that line. My boy Jerry Lynn. That's right, Zach. I love Jerry Lynn. Now it's good though. We go right from that to the match. It's Conan and Hoovy taking on Jerry Lynn and Jason Cross. it's funny because they're like, oh, it's his in-ring debut, but then they quickly corrected by saying, no, he was actually on show number 1, but this is his debut. This is his first match since show numur 1. They quickly corrected.
It's been a while.
Been a while. It's been 36 weeks since that happened.
Oh, for Hoovy?
No, for Konnan.
Oh, wait, Konnan was in the first one?
That's what I was like. I didn't remember him being on he was in the battle royal at the end.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't even remember in that first one because they just bombarded it with a lot of stuff.
There's a ton of guys.
Wow, because I don't even remember him from that. I remember a lot of the faces, but oh wow, I'll have to watch that again and see where he shows up.
Yeah, he's definitely. I'm looking at the participants right now, and he's in it. A lot of names in that first one that you don't even think about. Like
someone in the chat said something about Konnan being all coked up for this. I tell you what. You take a second look at Hoovy during this match, dude. Hoovy is
bananas.
He's something. He's on something or drunk or something. I mean, his wrestling moves were incredible. I don't know how he pulled this off, but when you look in his eyes, and when you watch him come down to the ring, he's dousing himself with water, and he turns around and almost stumbles into the ring. There's something really off about him, but man,
Hoovy went through his time. And big shout to Rex in here because Rex is remembering all the questions that were asked. Mil Mouse or El Santo, Eminem or 50 Cent.
There's one more. Max Moon, the best.
He's like the best. Tracy McGrady or Kobe Bryant. And he goes, Kobe's a ball hog. That's right.
Hilarious.
Thank you, Rex. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you.
But the match is okay. It was all right. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, it was pretty much. It had some moments. Jason Cross looked pretty good on this one. Konnan holds the ropes to cheat to win. Pins Jerry. So he got the retribution. I gotta do it myself. Makes me think though, it should have been a one-on-one. They should have built to a one-on-one match. Why did they hide it in a tag? Because it kind of meant nothing to me.
That's coming next week.
All right. I just felt like this had very for Konnan to finally get that win. But
it wasn't clean.
It wasn't clean. But I was like, they hit it in a tag match. It was kind of like, all right. But yeah, we'll see what happens next week.
But after the match, he jumps on the commentary table. And he's like, interrogate this.
You catch that. Dude, I swear it's like Wild West. You guys, I swear, anybody in the chat who didn't watch these or is not watching them now, I swear you cannot even compare it to today's wrestling product. This is wild. It's fucking wild. You can't even believe
ECW attitude, but even a little crazier with some of the stuff.
It's fantastic. Russo said it when he was on our show. He said, some of these shows are some of the best shows that not many people got to see. It's just because they were hidden behind a paywall. But do yourselves a favor and watch them now because they're so damn good, man. So it's good stuff. All right, so now we get this great interview here. And this is Jay's highlight. I know the Trinity angle was Jay's highlight, right, Jay? This was your favorite part here.
Oh, yeah. I popped for this. I was like, whoa, they really made some history in this show.
So it's Kash, Trinity doing an interview with Goldilocks, friend of the show. And, just say how he's going to win and keep his title. And then, or just kind of how it's all him doing it. So I'm taking full credit for all this. You see Trinity, though. You guys catch Trinity in the background, though? Trinity.
Oh, yeah. She starts mean mugging him, looking at him what the hell are you talking about?
Because he's like, it's all me. I'm the one doing it. And she's like, Red interrupts, and he says, you owe Trinity. He's like, I owe Trinity here, And he's like, you owe Trinity for saving your ass. And he's like, what are you talking about? He goes, why don't you put up he's like, and he blames her. He's like, it's because of you, I'm not champion. Right? And he says something like that. Billy's like kind of letting him know that Trinity's the reason you got your title.
Yeah, she's the reason you're still champion.
Yeah. And Kash is like, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh yeah. And then Red challenges Trinity. Did he challenge Trinity at this point? And then Kash kind of cock blocks it. That's why I wrote down my notes. Kash cock blocks this match.
She's just a girl, and that's when Trinity really.
Yeah. So she didn't speak though. She kind of was just like,
she was looking interested, but then like,
well, then Kash kept interrupting her, right? And that's the thing. Like, she's just a
kept
girl.
cutting her off.
Yeah, you're gonna be a girl. She can't wrestle. She's just a girl. And it was like, oh, what is that? You want to make a 3-way dance? Okay, fine, we'll do that. And he walks off. So Red is now the booker.
I'm a gentleman, you little prick.
Yeah. So now you got a 3-way dance. I do love that when they went back later on, 2 segments later, TNA makes it official that it's going to happen tonight. We just got word from the back that it's going to happen tonight. So I love the intelligence there. It's not like Red just called it out and boom, it's a match. It took a little bit. TNA gets word, says, hey, we just heard from management. It's official tonight. So like continuity's there. It's like, because nowadays guys like you, she's like, I hate you too. I'll see you in the ring. It's like, wait, you can't book. You're not a booker. But in this case,
right?
Red did it. He said, you want 3-way dance? You gotta have 3-way dance. And then TNA confirms it. We got to confirm for tonight. So it's like those little details, guys, to tie in those loose ends to say, hey, they're not just fucking throwing shit out. They're making it make sense. A booker actually approved the match for tonight, which I like. Disco and Sanders come out and to take on Jim Duggan and a mystery partner who ends up coming through the crowd, who looks like he's been there a whole week. Moondog Spot comes in.
Return of the Moondog.
Return of the Moondog. Disco leaves.
He just came out of catering with a big old turkey bone.
Disco leaves. He's like, he's like, what the hell is this? This is a joke. This is so ridiculous. He's like yelling at TNA so you can hear it off camera. This is a joke. And TNA's line is great. You think that's a joke? Take a look at some Disco Inferno tapes, you jackass. Match lasted like nothing, like a minute.
Yeah, it was very short, very short.
Hacksaw pin Sanders. Like I literally wrote nothing. Like nothing happened here. It was just,
the thing is they went over another tough night for sex.
Yeah, I mean it's all building to something here. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
This was a great line. Go watch this confirmed tapes, you jackass. So it's nothing exciting, just a throwaway, really. Was there anything between this and the next match? I thought there was. Was it just a recap?
There was. This is pretty good. This is Goldie.
Okay.
Goldie with Father Jim.
This is where you got that picture of the promo.
That's right. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So Goldie with Father Jim in the new church, and this is where he talks about next week a match, an S&M match. A sadistic madness match,
which is awesome,
where they will have a new 4th member, the disciples in the new church.
So glad they clarified that, because I got really scared there for a second.
So it's a great interview. I mean, that look, the 3 of them kind of standing, Jim Mitchell, it's such a classic wrestling promo look, and they look good. And I took the screen grab of that and I put it out there. So definitely, guys, look at our Twitter at We Talk Impact. Retweet the stuff, the new church. I'm really trying to get that little steam, because it's one of those things where if you even Google them, not enough images have even been released, and they were a vital part of TNA. That's what blows my mind.
Yeah,
and I just don't know how they did not get enough play. You know, how not enough materials out there. So definitely give that a little plug and play on our Twitter. I'll put that out there. But yeah, it was.
They were so harsh to Goldie though, because the little thing while Father is talking, Brian Lee does. He's significantly taller. He leans over Goldie's shoulder and does something, and she's like, she jumps. And then, Malice from across the way does something with her hair, and she's like this, and they're just fucking with her so bad. I felt so bad for her. I was like,
her facial expressions are great. She's like, "Oh God, what the hell?" She's all like feeling grossed out and everything. So it's great.
Yeah,
great.
and then someone did something to her on the way out, and she's like, "Hey!"
Yeah, she's great. She's great. They're like bugging her, smelling her hair and shit. Classic promo though. Classic promo. Look great. Definitely one of those Just it came out, and Jim Mitchell, for God's sake. I mean, put the new church in just to induct Jim Mitchell. Can we?
Legend.
Exactly.
Legend.
And he's still there. He's still there to this day. You know, he's part. I mean, he's on a little bit of a break right now, but like Jim Mitchell's still part of the family. Consider that for a second. He's a nearly a day one guy. So actually, he is a day one guy. So what was his first appearance? Do you remember his first appearance was?
It was pretty early because I remember Slash was out there getting his head busted. It was one of the covers of one of the first ones.
Yeah, it was definitely one. I think maybe show 3, he shows up. I mean, he's there early. Anybody in the chat can confirm that. I think he was there like show 3 was his debut. But man, it's such a great promo. It's so classic Jim Mitchell, you know, and he's just. The guy is great at what he does, man. I can just watch him constantly. And I'm trying to see what his debuted. No, he debuted on show number 1.
There you go.
Show number 1. And then he returned in the Halloween show a couple months later, it looks like.
Oh, yeah. They did a little promo thing saying, the evil is returning or something like that.
Yeah.
Evil.
Because he was Malice in the first show, I believe, right? He was managing Malice. I think so. He definitely was on show 1, and then maybe a couple more. You know, I don't know. I think he did a few more appearances. I want to say between, but he because he did the first. Well, the first number 1 and 2 were a same day taping, right?
Yeah,
so
Rex is confirmed he was there with Malice. Yeah,
he was there with Malice. Yeah, so he was there. I mean, he's a day one TNA guy. You not inducting him into the TNA Hall of Fame just based on that alone is a fucking crime.
So yeah, he was there. You were there when he was there to induct Abyss. But yeah, like
one of my favorite memories in wrestling ever. You were there. I mean, you were there too. We sat next to each other. Yeah. Well, you sat up front.
No. You sat up front.
No. At the Hall of Fame, I was in the back. I was in the back row. I was behind Gail and Taryn.
But you were out there. We were out in the bar. We were out in the bar with the
common. You're talking the main room. Yeah. I snuck into the main room.
You snuck into the main room.
That's right. Because it was if anybody
Gail did sit at my table with the people for a bit until she moved on in there.
Yeah, because they had the main room. We had the room where it was a small room of all roster and everybody getting the
typical
induction.
New York bar. Everything's tight.
And then they had the VIP folks in like the bar area. And did they have screens for you guys, or how were you guys watching it?
I think the idea was it to be on the screens, but it really didn't work. I think everybody was just kind of peering. Yeah, you could hear it, and I think people started kind of peering over and kind of lurking a little closer. Because I think that was the plan, but I don't think the closed circuit worked.
The speech by Jim Mitchell was one of the greatest moments.
It was a long speech too.
Well, here's the funny part. So we ran to him outside, and we're like, Jim. And he's like, hey, how are you? You know, he's like, he remembers Nicole. He goes, lovely. Do you have a light? You know, and like we're talking. I'm like, you ready to give that speech? You know, you ready for it? He's like, well, they gave me 7 minutes, and I'm trying to figure out how I can fit all this in 7 minutes. I go, you talking for a living, Jim. You can figure it out. I'm like, how long do you got? He goes, well, I practiced it on my wife yesterday, and I was like, oh, perfect. How long is it? He goes, 38 minutes. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm up first. I'm like, oh, shit. So he's out there having a cig, and he's just like, God damn, what's going to happen? I said, you'll figure it out. They just let him, as you know, Bill, they let him rip. He did the whole 30-minute speech. And it was fantastic. He starts fucking crying a little bit. He's like, I'm not going to get emotional because devils don't cry. You know, and he's all like, and then Abyss gets up. It was fucking great. That was a phenomenal moment. But the whole Aries work shoot thing, which I still don't know if that was what the deal was with that. But that was weird. But great speech. Jim Mitchell, national fucking treasure in wrestling. So we get that. So we where do we leave? I totally forgot where we left off. That promo.
Well, we left off at that segment, yeah.
Yes.
So now we got the three-way dance.
There's Red, Kash, Trinity, X Division title on the line. Jay brought this up to me. He wanted to talk about it. Jay, you pointed us out that this was a moment for Trinity. You told me about this in our chat. So man, go ahead, Tacos.
Now when they booked this and they announced this, they're like, hey, it's happening now. We're getting a 3-way. I was hoping we got more out of Trinity, but then the more I thought about it, because I'm trying to write this in my head, I'm like, because at first I'm like, oh man, she's not even in the match. I mean, she's in the match, but she's barely visible right up until the end. She pulls off a few decent moves,
right?
But I think that's what I think most people would call paying your dues. Is she's been taking a lot of bumps lately, and she's learning along the way, and so yeah, she does get a few moves in on. It was Amazing Red, right? Or was it?
Yeah, on Amazing Red.
Yeah, it was.
She never really made contact with Kid Kash, but it looked like she obviously softened them up, or you could say she maybe could have won that title if Kid Kash didn't come too.
It was close. It was close. She looked like she was getting ready to
the knee
pull
injury.
off. Yeah. she was getting ready to go up to the top rope or whatever. What the hell was her?
She's the moonsault. That was her finish. Was that?
That's what it was.
Floating.
So she was going up for it, but she couldn't get there. That knee was just giving out on her.
Yeah. Well, she took some nasty bumps early on in the match, and she might have landed a little rough on a couple of the other moves, but yeah, man, it was really cool to see her at least partake in this match, and I was like, this is history right here. This is the first woman in an X division match, at least one that I can remember.
No limits.
That's true. It's the first time that a woman competed. That's a good factoid, though, Jay. First time. Since then, has there been a woman in an X Division title match? Well, no woman has held it. No woman's held the X Division title, correct?
I don't know. The only one I think that may have had maybe would have been Kong, but I don't think that happened. But that would be the closest.
No, I don't think any woman.
I think they kept it to the knockouts. The knockouts existed. I don't think they really crossed paths.
And I'm just trying to think. Also, has a woman even ever competed for it since? I don't think so.
That's what I was thinking. Oh yeah. Oh no, nobody's won it.
Nobody's won it.
I was just thinking. Competed. The only one I could think that maybe would have been involved in a competing angle would have been Kong, but she was post knockouts. Like it almost had to be pre knockouts.
It's true. That's a hell.
Well, like I know people mentioned like Tracy Brooks. She was early on. Maybe
she never had a title shot though. Tracy, she's not even for the knockouts. But I don't think she earned challenge for the knockouts title at the time. But no, it's interesting. No other woman has ever competed for the X Division title. Not even like Tessa didn't, right? Tessa wasn't. Oh, wait a minute. She was in the ladder match. Tessa was.
Technicality. Yes. There you go.
Technicality. She was a participant for a vacant title, right? That's
correct. A little bit of a way around it, but yeah,
I'll give it a half.
Technically, it's a yes. Yeah, it's technically a yes.
It's a half with an asterisk.
It's an asterisk.
Because it was a vacant title match. It's an asterisk. But I think, okay, how about this? Since Trinity, up until Tessa, I don't think any woman ever competed for the X Division title. That was the first time.
You're right, and then technically the World Title Series tournament had Gale in it, correct?
Yes.
And Kong. So they were technically competing for the world title,
right?
A long thing before Tessa got involved.
True. Man, guys, we need to give Trinity needs to get more credit. She's not as active on social media. She's got the she used to be very active on Instagram at one time. She cut down a lot. I don't know if it's family. She got married. I don't know what it is. But she not as active. Like you can tell she logs in like maybe once every 2 months, and we'll check out what she's been tagged in. So she's gonna get a hell of a fucking awakening.
Man, it's like, oh my gosh.
Like
these TNI guys,
we've tagged her in a bunch of things. So like,
and that's specifically because we have had those conversations amongst ourselves and with Goldilocks.
Yeah,
talking about, hey, if we could we would love to have her on a show to pay her some respect and have the TNI squad give her some love. And just thank her for everything that she's done, because we're loving what's going on in these episodes now, and hoping that if we can get her on, we'll have the duo of Goldie and Trinity on, and that would just be mind blowing. They could do a bunch of reminiscing and tell some stories, and
I think we owe it to
J-Bone
ourselves,
Downey.
guys.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think we owe it to ourselves, guys, to reach out to Goldie and tell her, hey, listen, can you get Trinity? And can you guys come on? You know? And I think, Goldie's, if anyone is going to make it happen, Goldie can do it. So, because they're still in touch.
Yeah, because I think you're right about that. Because I did drop a line to Trinity to try to see something, but obviously, as you said, I don't think she checks a lot of her her ways of contacting her that often.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff is really out of date if you look into it.
Yeah.
So like really out of date. Some of this her social media stuff. So, but hopefully, like obviously it seems like a page she turned in her career for sure. But obviously, as we say here, like she's such a huge part of these shows. And obviously we're talking about like possible Hall of Fame. So like she was a huge TNA.
Huge part of it. And I want to correction real quick. Everybody's correcting me in the chat. It was not, the X title was not vacant. Jake was champion in that, going into that ladder match. So thank you guys. Sorry about
that's
that.
right. Yeah, it was.
Man in Black.
Yeah, Jake was champion. My bad. He was. It was his title being held above.
That was such a good match. I remember being in the crowd for that one.
The AC Romero table bump. Holy shit!
I was just gonna remember that because we were right on the other side. Oh yeah, because I'm sitting next to Whoopsie, and we're way up at the top on the other side of the arena, and all we see, we didn't know that there was a table set up on the other side of the ring. We couldn't see it from where we were. And we just see him go down, and we practically grabbed each other like, oh my God, is he alive?
Yeah.
Is he
Everybody on that side didn't know like that table was over there. It was set up so early that it was like when you just saw him fall off the ladder, you're like, oh my gosh, no.
I thought he was dead. I was like, holy shit, he's dead. First day in the company, he's dead.
Yeah, day one. Jiminy Christmas
to that. Now it was but yeah, she's a great part. Definitely, guys, tweet her, bug her on Twitter. Let her know you want her on the show because I think we would love to do an interview with her. But yeah, I think after maybe next month, let's get a hold of Goldie and see if she can. She can reset that up.
If we don't hear anything in the meantime, we'll try to use our connections.
Yeah.
But Jay, did you hear where she was introduced from? Because you've heard it lately with another wrestler.
No.
Where she's billed from. Strong Island.
Oh yeah. Same as
Kyle. Kaylon.
I'm saying Long Island going to Strong Island.
No, but there's someone from the Impact Wrestling that I always do that with, isn't there?
That's what he's saying. He's like, who's doing it now? Take your guess. Who's getting billed from Strong Island? He gives up. The silence is him giving up there, Bill.
I think there's only one guy in the roster.
But he's not on the. Who I'm thinking of is not on the roster.
Well, I know he goes by. Yeah, Cardona goes by it, and then Myers he's from Queens, but I was actually referring to Cardona.
That's what I was thinking about. I was like,
oh, my bad.
I thought you meant someone.
That's why I pointed at Jay because he does.
Oh, I gotcha.
Although it is a known fact that he may be available in another 2 weeks.
Really? Oh yeah, he's only got a certain number of appearances. Yeah, that's right.
I think it was 5, and he's at least 3 in. I think
he's had 2.
Is he?
He wasn't on this.
Oh, he wasn't on. Okay, all right. But maybe he was in Nashville.
Oh. I want to give a shout. Mike Larkin was a part of the Heel Cast as well. He does some shows and he's a great podcaster. Guys, check out Mike Larkin, friend of the show here. Heel Cast. Now, Mike, I don't know if you're the one who conducted this. If you can confirm this, they had Wildcat Chris Harris on this week, and I'd love to get that interview. I'd love to maybe bring him on to this. So you guys inspired if he's taking interviews again because he's been quiet. He's moved on a lot. So if he's taking him, I definitely want to get him on this for sure. Mike, I don't know if you can. I have not listened to it yet, so I don't know if you conducted it or not. But let us know if you can and where people can find it too. We go to Goldie. She's in the back. Goldie. She's just outside of a locker room. You hear a bunch of arguing going on, and then you just hear and Dusty just comes in. Excuse me. He just walks up. That was a segment. That's it. Dusty just slinks into the locker room. We get the semi main right here. Goes on to so it's Watts, Lawler, and Flair taking on Jeff Jarrett, Dusty Rhodes, D'Lo Brown. standard 6-man. I didn't think there's anything too crazy that happened action wise. It was pretty solid action. It was just back and forth. They kept a good flow. Jarrett pins Flair, I believe, for the win on this one.
He does. Gives him the stroke.
The stroke, right? The crux of this match though is Truth just comes out of nowhere because there's a brawl. There's a brawl breaking out. Everybody's brawling. Truth just slinks it out of nowhere and just turns on Jarrett. Turns on him, just like, and Mike TNA was like, he was hugging him at the top of the show. What the hell is this?
What a turncoat! He kept calling all the turncoat.
Yeah. It was fantastic. He turns on him. The crowd actually was popping for that turn though. I noticed they liked the turn. Now, the crazy part of this though was Watts is beating the shit out of Jarrett. He's dragging Jarrett with a rope now, right?
Oh,
and this is
it's not just a rope.
Oh man,
it's a noose. It's like noose. Oh, it's so bad.
He drags Jarrett outside. Yeah, he drags him outside, and he ties him to the bumper of this stretch SUV limo, which I don't know why that was there, but this badass limo. And Mike,
who was on the show that got that?
Yeah, seriously. Mike TNA is just like, oh my God, you can't be doing that.
You could kill him. Call the cops.
Can I just
call the police?
Can I just say, Mike TNA right there is what wrestling announcing is missing. He was dying to try to help Jeff Jarrett here. And he was like, oh, you're 6-time a bitch. What are you doing? Like insane. And it's like, that's how you'd react if you saw somebody almost getting dragged through a bumper. Fuck. And like again, I don't mean to knock Josh Matthews, but Josh, I need to hear some urgency in your voice.
Yeah, there's like I know we kind of talk about it, and like that's kind of what we grew up on. Like that's the last of an era with TNA.
Oh man,
like Joey Styles had that same type of thing with him. Like, and he obviously could still be doing it today. But he'd be like kind of like the only one. Like maybe there's some guys on small platforms that are doing it, but almost everybody else, you look at all these major broadcasters, they all came from the same place and they all kind of learned the same way.
Yeah.
The only one that didn't was Borash, because he obviously came from WCW and kind of learned more from the TNA. So he did have a little bit different, but like he tried, I think, to do more in that style. But obviously he never really found the right partner to work with either. So who knows?
That was the problem. Yeah, JB never got the right partner to work with. You're right. But man, I tell you, the TNA style is a lost art. He's another one. He's on Twitter. He's on a verified account, Real Mike TNA on Twitter, and he just doesn't check it. Once a year. It looks like the last 2 years.
So an air conditioner's in Vegas.
He's in Vegas, and they tape in Vegas.
Yeah.
They tape in Vegas. So, Bill, we got to
tape in Vegas.
We got to hunt him.
I just got to trip over Mike TNA. Like he'll be at the craps table, and I'll give him the angry TNA face.
Hey,
They're like, come on our show.
Oh, I would love.
Perfect.
Honestly, it'd be a crown jewel interview. We can get Mike TNA. It really would be.
Man.
Oh my God!
We'd all give him one of these.
Yes, like the we're gonna interrogate you.
That's what we want. We got to bring back. We're like, Mike, we want you just to come on, and let's just do the interrogators. Bring it back.
Honestly,
you know what? Today, our way, just so we're talking Goldilocks and Trinity, maybe we try to reach out to Don West first.
He's tweeted today. He's around.
He's around. He's active. Maybe he can be our link to Mike TNA.
Let's shoot for Don. You're the head of talent relations now at TNI.
Are you saying I'm the Glen Gilberti of the show?
Glen Gilberti of the show, maybe. You want to reach out to Don? You want to give it a shot?
I'll reach out to Don.
Go for it. Tell him we talk about you two every goddamn week and put you guys over the moon, and it'd be an honor. Just to give us 10 minutes. It's never just 10 minutes, but give us 10 minutes.
And he could sell snow to the Eskimos, right?
No, my God, that guy! What a maniac! Listen. They would say that when Don West was doing the merch, how merch sales would just be through the roof when he would do it live. I watched it live. he would sell you on those backstage passes or which side is loudest. And people like, he's like, all right, out of all this side, whoever goes and buys a t-shirt's gonna get a chance to go back. And he's like, fuck yeah, like run over there and shit, dude. He incredible.
He could just clear out. He could clear out the warehouse of anything, and think what all the new stuff, the new merch that Impact's been putting out lately. Like everybody would buy good. Like the world would be afloat with Good Brothers shirts.
Oh yeah.
Wow. You have got to be kidding me. Just that line. Oh man, it's awesome.
How are they still in stock?
Oh, it's so true. It's so true, Lord Maddox. It was a great source of revenue, man. And he was hawking that stuff like it was going out of style. It's crazy.
I remember buying like baseball memorabilia. Me and my dad watching them when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's 1 a.m. It's like, I got this bat. It's signed. Oh, you want this bat, don't you? How many we got? Well, how many we got? We got 5?
I do.
Oh, 4? Oh, guys. 3? Oh, it's gone. You missed it.
You missed it. Yeah. You know, what? Like an hour later, like, we found one. We got one in the warehouse. And you're like, shit, Dad. I ordered he was one time selling a classic baseball card set. It was like the 1920s to 1940 like classic card set or something like that. And I was a big Babe Ruth and Yankee. I was a big Yankees mark, and like my dad, I remember watching it. He's hawking it. He's like, "You're not gonna these are full grade replicas." And I'm like, "Dad, I need to get these." And like ordered them right there. And I don't know, like years later, I'm like, "Wait a minute, that's that fucking guy sold me baseball cards. Holy shit!"
now he's the color man on my favorite wrestling show.
Nice guy.
Crazy.
Got to meet him a couple times at the Fan Fest and stuff. He was hosting Bound for Glory 08's Fan Fest here in Chicago. He was hosting around and stuff, and just got to meet. Such a sweetheart, man. Total nice guy.
I got my Visa fired briefcase from Don.
Did you?
On his return when he came back for that Slammiversary when Jarrett came back.
Because he did merch stuff too for them.
He did merch stuff during that period he was back. He was doing the merch again.
And Brown Bag Special was back. He did another commercial. It was fantastic. He's just great. Bring him in once a year. Just bring Don in. Just once a year. Fly in Don West.
Don's an institution. Bring him back.
He did Slam. Was it Slam 16, right, Bill? That was Slam 16. That was when he commented. So. Yeah, it was great, Jay. I'm telling you, man. Did you order anything from Don West? You're buying baseball cards?
No, I had no clue he did that back then.
Joey
or if you ever saw the Saturday Night Live, you'll see Will Ferrell playing him on Saturday Night Live.
That's right.
Selling knives.
That's right. And that's what Lord Max saying. He probably threw a knife set.
That's funny.
I love this now, the semi-continuous camera shot, because so the whole frenzy just happened with the bumper. So Watts doesn't end up dragging him through. He's like, "Oh, you think I was gonna do that, huh?" And like, mind games. Oh my guy's playing mind games. He doesn't drag Jarrett. But then we come back to the arena. The crowd's frenzied, and in the middle of it, the new church is walking through the crowd. And they're making their way. It's like, what's going on here? What the hell? So, like, you're not giving the crowd a minute to breathe. You're like, what the fuck? Where are these guys going? And they're walking through, and they're going to the Sports Entertainment Xtreme locker room. They go to ambush them. Nobody's in there. And then they get ambushed by Triple X. Just get bested. Got their asses handed to them. So, feud is coming up. This is good. This is a good feud now. I like where the new church is being positioned here. From what I remember, they're not around too much longer. This is like the new churches last year. They don't make it into 04. You know that. They don't get 2004. Because 2004 is when we get to Orlando in 04. A new church, I don't think ever made it to Orlando. They were out before Orlando. So
there was a few different versions, wasn't there?
Well, we saw a couple already. We saw Tempest, who was Crowbar. He had come in already.
Yeah.
Kazarni had come in at this point. Belladonna had been there, so there was a few, like the incarnations had come in and out, but that's it. They don't make it to Orlando. That new church is a Nashville thing. It ends in Nashville, and I don't think it's too much. I think by the end of 03, they're gone, and that's it. So definitely enjoy this while you can. That's why I'm trying to put it out there while we're watching. I'm like, definitely, put these clips out.
Yeah.
So they're setting up next week. So they get best of the disco. And So Disco and Siaki lead out. So we're going right into this. I don't know if it's edited, but it was like so quick. Disco and Siaki lead Hollywood's out, and they call out Athena. There was choice words for Athena here, Bill. A couple of choice words. What do you have in your notes?
Let's see. Oh, yes. My main one, because you have Hollywood with Sonny there, and Sonny he takes the mic with Athena there, and he's like, well, first is there choice words before they brawl? They kind of go right into it because Athena just jumps in the ring, so Athena pretty much puts her down. So then Sonny gets on the mic, and is like he tells Athena, well. you gotta let's see Hollywood here. Let's see Hollywood. Because the line, the main line I got from this is don't want to see those sloppy flapjacks.
Just my notes literally say Athena wins and he tells Athena to rip off Holly's shirt. And he goes, because nobody wants to see your sloppy flapjacks. I wrote sloppy flapjacks! ! She slaps him, and then he gives her a spike pump handle driver.
Athena,
I thought he broke her I thought he broke her neck, J-Bone.
It looked rough, man. It looked rough.
Yeah, it was pretty harsh. Zach Boniford just dropped the clip in the on Facebook for me for these the ones you're talking about, the SNL shopping at home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he just dropped me one of those clips. I'll be watching that later. Thanks, Zach.
All right. Yeah, we can't show it here, Zach. They'll pull us if we show it here. But no, I mean, Jay, you've spiked pile driven a few women in your day. Did you ever break anyone's neck, or you pretty safe about it? Yeah, I'm talking wrestling now, J-Bone.
I'm not that rough in the backseat. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Nice.
I'm not about.
Well, he is known as a smasher.
Yeah, he's definitely a smasher, that's for sure.
I've certainly smashed some stuff back in the day, but no, never. I never smacked any of them around. No,
Spike pile driver. No. David Young makes the save on Athena here, but you know my
David the Young
makes the save. David,
it's not Dennis the Young from S.E.X.
Chicago guy too. Dennis the Young.
David.
David the Young. That's going to be the ongoing joke here now. David the Young. My note here though on David Young's save, I wrote great slide. You guys notice how smooth his slide was?
Well, they didn't talk about the slide, but it's like, how quick did he get in there?
He fucking flew in there. He fucking runs nice, just whoosh, and then he slid into a standing position. Just
it was like
he just like appeared like a ghost.
Yeah, it was like Eric Young on Impact with Rich Swann. The attack like.
but watch the slide. He literally just was like a slip and slide, just
pop up slide. Maybe play some baseball.
I think he did actually. I think David Young did play baseball, is what I remember. Mike, listen for tonight's commentary as David Young gets more prominent. Young sticks around for a while. He's there. You think he makes it into Orlando? So he sticks around. Then I don't know what happened to him. All right, main event time. We got a little recap, and then we go to the main event. Raven and Styles. This is a big one. This is 6 steps between heaven and hell. I love the little old school theater, like a B movie, commercial that they played. Thought that was cool. Winner gets a shot at Jarrett. Contract hanging up. So, Jay, let me start with you on this one. What's your take on this? What was the overall thoughts? This was that was a fantastic match. A lot of back and forth.
I love how it started out where Raven's just doing his normal sitting down in the corner of the ring, and his eyes are just glued on the ramp. His eyes do not lose focus for a second.
Psychology,
then the camera pans out, and all of a sudden you see him run from the other way, from right behind Raven with the trash can, wham, right in the back of the head. I mean,
great.
Raven probably got like 10 concussions during this damn match. It's because he doesn't put his hands up for shit. He doesn't protect himself for nothing, for hardly any of these. And they just went through so many trash cans. That ladder spot, and I don't talk about spots a lot, but man, this was a lot of fun, a lot of violence. the stuff that AJ does to Raven. Raven's laying on the ladder, it's on an angle, and he does this backwards moonsault off the rope, and and lands on a Raven, and it's how they bounce off of each other. It's just, oh my god,
it was wicked, man, wicked,
crazy.
What do you got in this one, Bill? Any notes in this one? It's the main event now.
It is the main event. So yeah, this was all over the place, man.
Yeah, brutal.
It was brutal. Obviously, deep cut there. They keep saying how he hasn't healed in weeks from these matches Raven's been having. So he's full Crimson Mask almost immediately. But yeah, and AJ, I'll tell you, man, when he got initially, AJ goes up on that ladder, but then Raven uses it as the weapon and is going around and smacking him around with the ladder. That was whoa. It was on that return clip when he hits him, it's okay, he hits him. But then when he kind of goes back and hits him, it's whoa, did he knock his head off?
Yeah, dude. That was fucking
wicked. That was sick, man. It was sick. And obviously Raven's, he's doing great work here. He's doing great work through these pay-per-views. There's a reason that Raven is in that main event scene and kind of the main foe for Jeff Jarrett right now, because he's got it all. He's talking, he's going in the ring. Obviously, a very different style, and obviously, I got an ECW bias from my days, but you can just see it, and the crowd's eating it up. They're hot for Raven. So this is, I'll tell you, this is, and AJ didn't look out of place here. He was keeping with him for the most part. And then this is obviously a very young AJ, and they make the point to say he was in that one match, but he's not really. This isn't his forte at all. Right. But he's sticking with him, so it's showing a little bit more out of AJ to help build him up.
It's a different side of AJ because you know him as the X division now, getting into the heavyweight scene, but he's using all the weapons and stuff. So it's it's different, but he did all right. He really he let Raven have it. He caught him off guard. That was the big thing, to start out strong against a guy like Raven, because man, you start whittling down against a guy like Raven, you're not coming back, because he'll hit you with everything, including the kitchen sink. And that kitchen sink freaking hurts, man.
He as we know, Raven is just one of the, think about this. This is 2003. Within the last decade up to this point, he'd been on every major TV. He was WCW, Scotty Flamingo, Sky the Body, in WCW, WWF, Johnny Polo. Went to ECW, did the Raven thing in ECW. Went to WCW during the hottest time in WCW. Raven's flock, prominent guy. Went back to ECW in an amazing return. Goes to WWF, back to their TV, gets more Raven exposure there. And he comes here. Think about you. People don't understand what a big star Raven was. Raven was a huge star in this time. He was definitely top. You're in your top 10, in wrestling at the time in the world, because he really, think of it, he had been in every major TV up to this point. And again, people don't realize what a major star he was. He held titles everywhere. He was prominent. The flock was way bigger than people like to remember it was. It was TV time every week. If you're a WCW fan, you remember they had showed there was a flock segment every week. So Raven had to cut a promo nearly every week on WCW for 10 million people. A lot of fucking people knew who Raven was. Mm-hmm. So such a good foe. He comes in, and Jay, you're a huge Raven fan. You told me yourself. I
love Raven. See, and I always identified with him because it's you got the guys like Hulk Hogan, and then you got the cruiserweights, and the luchadors and stuff like that. I was one of those heavy metal misfits, and Trent, I know you'll understand me on this one. And you don't fit with the jocks, you don't fit with this, you don't fit with that. And then along comes this guy, Raven, and he's the alternative. And as much as I don't like that term in music history, going back to the hair metal days, you appreciated him for what he was, because you're oh man, no No one appreciates Raven. No one gets Raven. I can identify with that. And so many kids just latched onto that, and he became their anti-hero.
He was, man. I had several Raven T-shirts.
He was the grunge movement. He was the wrestling grunge movement.
Yeah,
I have
rock and roll, heavy metal. Yeah,
I remember learning what an Ankh was because Raven used to have the Ankh on his T-shirt, and I have an Ankh necklace on, which I got in Egypt. You know, it's the sign of eternal life. You know, it's from Egypt, the Egyptian sign of for life. The Raven wore that. I had the Raven Ankh WCW T-shirt, the ECW one with the shadow like this. I used to dress like fucking Raven. I mean, I was a huge Raven mark, man, in high school, no doubt.
I was looking for my Raven shirt today, but I couldn't find it.
Mine's my parents' house.
I had my Beulah shirt, which is my Tommy/Raven shirt.
Nice.
That storyline, fantastic. Yeah. The Raven, what a mark. It's one of the best clips. One of the best clips ever. The Raven rich kid storyline thing that these two on Thunder for a while. Anybody remember those? Those were great. Raven being the rich kid, and
you know what I need to do, and not to put over another brand, that has a network, but man, I really need to get my money's over sometime and go back and watch some of that Raven stuff, because that's one brand that I'm not familiar with, but I'd love to know more, and that's ECW. In fact, I've even talked about doing a series on my channel, but I just don't have the time right now. But
I think maybe after we finish these, Jay, you got something you can look into. After these, once the Asylum years are done, I think it'd be
switch over to ECW. Hey, maybe I'll find some people to do them with me.
Yeah, you could probably find somebody to do it with. You should get. I'll tell you right now, the guy who should do it would be amazing. And this, I'm no bullshit. Danny Daniels was a big ECW mark until he started working for him too. So I mean, he started working at the company. So
man,
I've been trying to get him to do a podcast about either his own company, but I think he'd eat up an ECW one because he's a little too much to put himself over. But I'm like, man, he would do an ECW one in a heartbeat, no doubt. I'm just putting that out there. But just listen to his show episode of Front Row Material with our buddy Mike Freeland.
There you go.
He was on there, and they tearing it up with ECW talk with him and Mikey Whipwreck. So check.
By the way, I just listened to yours. It was a great one.
Thank you.
You guys did a good job. You went. Now, who was the other guy that was on with you?
It's Chad Ian B. He's a co-host of the 2-Man Power Trip podcast, and also the 3-Man Power Trip with Shane Douglas. But the 2-Man Power Trip podcast is fantastic. It is a phenomenal podcast. I mean, they get a lot of guests. They're more guest based than they are because they don't really talk too much topical. They just talk guest interviews. But he's fantastic. But yeah, it was great. Chad's gonna come on one of our shows. I think probably this one. He's a big TNA guy. So he's like, I'd love to come on the Throwback show anytime. Just let me know.
Oh yeah.
So I'd love to have him come on. He worked for TNA for WWE for a while. So he's a production guy, so he knows some backstage insight and things like that. So he's he works with Shane Douglas, so he's a big fan. So he told me when you get to the Shane Douglas years episodes, give me a call. Let me pop in on those. So when we get to Shane, we'll call Chad.
Well, that's pretty soon.
Yeah, we're almost there. I'll hit up Chad in a couple weeks.
There you go.
For sure. But Raven wins, gets the contract, and this starts, guys, the build to the most successful.
Why he won.
Yeah, you gotta say why he won. Who interfered? That was
Go ahead, mention that. I had it in my notes. I totally skipped over. Go ahead, Jay.
Mr. Disco Inferno interfered. He Styles was just inches away from getting it, and he nails AJ
through a table. Right?
That was a rough bomb on the outside through a table.
Oh yeah. It took a couple tries too. He hit him, and he gets kicked away, and then he grabs him, and he power bombs him over the top rope to the outside of the ring through the table, and that landing.
Perfect. It was like a perfect landing.
I mean, he was thrown. I mean, it's one thing to fall through a table. It's another thing when you're thrown down through a table. There's a little extra in there, and oof.
Yeah, he Raven was a bloody mess by the end of this, though. He was a total mess, but
wow, yeah, he passes out.
Yeah, but he wins.
He grabs the papers, falls down, and then like kind of leans on the ropes, and then just he's back.
Now, like I said, this starts the biggest program in TNA. I believe still sets the all-time record at the Asylum, probably just for TNA. I think was for the match that leads up the Jarrett Raven title match. I can tell you, I'm gonna get Dave on that one, because that's the one we went all out for that one. We invited people over. I mean, that was a fucking. I'm talking like I'm talking
appetizers.
Oh yeah. It was an all day event, because this was you will, if you guys are watching with us, I'm going to tell you right now, 38 through, and I think the match happens. It doesn't happen for a while. It takes a little bit. It's almost, I think, 2 months. So you're talking 38 to like 46, and maybe even later. I'm not positive on that and the number it takes place on, but man, the build to Jarrett and Raven, you can see, you'll watch and you'll be like, holy shit. They said they had a line nearly a mile long trying to get in. It's how crazy it was to get into the Asylum that day. They tried closed circuiting, from what I understand, outside. It just was like too many fucking people. It was like fire code to get into this place. So it's
wow.
Why? Yeah. So I'm telling you guys, we're in for a real fun. Like, now is where we kick into, like, think about it, it's the first like major title program. They've had, they had a couple of short ones, Truth back and forth, a couple of wins back and forth, trading the belt, but
well,
now
Truth gets another run somewhere, doesn't he?
He gets one more in there. One more happens at some point. I don't remember who he beats off the top of my head, but we definitely get.
If you remember, don't tell me.
I won't.
I just know he's got another one, and I was like, okay, it's got to be something relatively soon. But all right.
Yeah. No, we'll get to that, and I think it's 46 for Raven's title shot. And then I remember what Truth is later. I think Truth gets it towards the end of the Asylum run, like right towards the end, because I remember we go to Orlando with Jarrett as the champion. I know that for sure. Jarrett is champ when they go to Orlando.
Shocker.
Yeah, no shit. So that's what I recall. I remember that, and because there was Raven did get it later on, and that, remember you guys, he wins at Slammiversary 05 or something, and then Jarrett, how many of you guys remember Jarrett wins it at BCW in 05? He wins it back on a house show. Yeah, so there's a lot. I mean, it's on the NWA title. Like, Raven got it, but it was like a year late. I was like, fuck, didn't mean it. It's like, he did win at Slammiversary, at the first Slammiversary, I believe. That's the first like official pay-per-view branded Slammiversary. I believe he won at that.
I think I watched that one.
It was a big deal. It's just one of those things where, like, man,
it's so blurry from back then. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, he should have gotten it like a year before. He was just a little late in getting it. But
that could be something, because I know, like when you just said like the first official Slammiversary, I think the first official, like a lot of these first official pay-per-views, theme pay-per-views, I think they're free on YouTube, so we could technically maybe even do like some type of watch along at some point for those.
Yeah, maybe we'll blend into those at some point. We might have to go to
like
those.
I think the first Lockdown, Destination X, Slammiversary, I think they all have a I assume Bound for Glory too. I'm not sure on that one, but I know I've seen the other ones on YouTube, full shows that they've put out.
They put a few out over the years, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to see the weekly shows, just so for our reference, guys, we're on 37. The weeklies end at 114. So we got a little time. Jay, you're not gonna get that ECW one for a while.
Oh, that's fine, because by the time, I tell you what, I love these, but I know by the time we get to the end of these, and people are going to be like, okay, now you gotta do the regular episodes. I'm going to be like, no. I mean, could we? Yes.
Yeah, but well, the thing is, this is a niche. This is a niche, right? This is the whole point of this. That's a niche.
Yeah, this is old school, and just remember, folks, Trent watch these live, every single one. I'm watching these live the day of we're reviewing it.
That's great.
And Bill's filling in the gaps, right?
Because I watched some around the time some later, some I'm sure I missed some. I know I missed some over. So this is filling in the gaps. Like a lot of these, like I know the storylines, but it's like I'm like, oh, do I remember seeing that the first time? It's like,
now did you go back and watch a few before you started doing these with us? Because you jumped in with us at what, 30?
30. Yeah, I was so I was watching.
Because you were watching when you were just in the chat with us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was watching them back then too. So, and then obviously I had seen like some of them I rewatched, but some of them I had remembered. So those ones I may not have watched as much back then, but obviously I've been rewatching all of them in full now.
Yeah. Looking at it here, September 8th is the last. September 8th, 04 is the last one at the asylum. That's when they leave the asylum. My sister's birthday, actually, September 8th. So I'm sure I was like a fucking mark that I am. I was watching this instead of celebrating her birthday. But I think she was in New York at the time. In all fairness.
Okay.
What are you gonna say, Jay?
I want to address something here. David Valentine says, I wish TNA would have done a Raven versus Alpha male match. Talking about Monty Brown.
Yeah.
Did they never? I could have sworn I'd be really surprised if they didn't face each other back in the day. I'm thinking like 05, 06 when Monty Brown was really coming into his own. Did they never face each other?
They faced each other in a Monsters Ball. That's about it. Never one-on-one. And never happened one-on-one. It was a Monsters Ball with, I want to say, man, I think, don't quote me 100% on this. I want to say it was Abyss and I think it was the first Monsters Ball. To be honest, it was the first one, and they did it in Orlando. First Monsters Ball ever, and it was Raven, Monty Brown, and Abyss. So it was never a one-on-one Raven and Monty match.
Interesting.
So they faced off. They have faced off, and that was a good Monsters Ball too. Monty, man, there was a promo really. Since somebody sent it to us in our online chat, Monty Brown, and by the way, let me just say that was the end of the show, guys. That's episode number 37. But Monty Brown did a 3-minute like time kill promo during was it Hard Justice of that year where the ceiling caught on fire at the Impact Zone. Do you remember this, Bill?
I do. I had like when it's going there, I'm like, oh yeah. Like I had forgotten about it until I saw that it like popped in my head.
So this was, I watched it live. So because of the pyro during Eric Young's entrance, I want to say might have been Eric Young. The pyro from the Super Eric or something caused the ceiling to light on fire at the Impact Zone, right? And they had to get the fire out. They actually get the fire out, and they continue the pay-per-view, which is fantastic. Was it Final Resolution, David? I'm not sure. I thought it was. I couldn't remember the pay-per-view, but anyway, might have been Final Resolution. Let's confirm that. But there was a Monty Brown promo, which I think might have. I don't know if it's on the DVD, and I gotta look. I think only aired on the pay-per-view feed, and it's TNA and West just killing time. Like just go, just 3 fucking minute promo of just him just being Monty. But it was like so fucking good. It was amazing. He's like a lunatic, and it's great. Did you guys watch it today in that chat?
I did.
Oh, I saw it. I didn't watch it.
This is how great TNA merchandising was back then. This is all Don West, I'm sure. After that incident happened, they came out with TNA is on fire t-shirts, sold like hotcakes. Because the fucking roof was on fire. Like
not sloppy flapjacks.
Not sloppy flapjacks, but the roof was literally on fire. Let me see. I'm trying to see roof on fire pay-per-view. I'm trying to see which one it was. Let's see. Impact on during the first Hard Justice 06. Yeah.
Hard Justice. There you go. Your initial thought.
Yeah. How about that? That's crazy. Hard Justice 06, August 13th, 06.
That's wild.
Oh man, yeah, and they came out. They came out with t-shirts and like it was a blast. Actually, you can see it on YouTube. The whole fire incident is on YouTube.
Wow.
And I think it was because of Eric Young's pyro. That's what I recall. It was his pyro hits, and it just caused it to just flame. It's just fucking nuts. But yeah, anyway, definitely check that out. But cool. That was it, guys. Number 37, March 19th, 03. 38 will be next week. We got a little run. Did you guys write the rundown for next week? I like kind of going in surprised on the week's one. I know Don does give a preview, but I just kind of like watching them raw.
Yeah, they do that rundown before the main event normally, where they talk about some things. But I'm with you. I may have jotted one or two things down, but I stopped after.
Well, we mentioned earlier that Conan's facing Jerry Lynn, but it sounds like each person is going to have some people at ringside. So I don't know if there's going to become like a stipulation, or some interference. I don't know, but
and we know we have the 8-man tag match. We have the S&M match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, New Church and a mystery partner versus Harris Brothers and Triple X.
Yes. And there you go. Cool. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely excited about it. None of these have let me down. I think one episode, Jane, you and I were like, it's all right.
Yeah.
But the rest of them were like, everything's been exciting.
Like sometimes it's just so out of control, and it just like it's like you go boom, 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 and your head's bouncing, your brain's bouncing off the inside of your skull trying to keep up with this shit, and it's like, oh my god. But no, these have been fun. Malice is back. We got to enjoy that while he's around. I love the Konnan stuff. Konnan is on fire during these, and I love watching all the luchadors come in, even though they're losing. Like guys like the tag match today, Konnan and Hoovy. It was crazy good. That finisher that Jason, I was going to mention this earlier and I totally forgot. Jason Cross, that damn finisher, crazy. Like the 450 leg drop or whatever the hell it's called. Oh my God. And he didn't even like land it right. And it just, every time he does it, I'm in physical pain watching him because he lands right on his ass. It's one thing to do a regular leg drop like Hogan did a million times, but this is a 450 wham, and if you don't hit it just right, like he hit it and it looked like he kicked Konnan in the head or whoever he had there. Jeez Louise.
I think that's what shortened his career. I think it's what shortened his career. I mean, you can only take that bump so many times before you start compacting your spine.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point you raised there, Trent, because I think like the thing during this time, obviously you're seeing more of that luchador X Division wild style, we'll call it. And now that's like, you see that on like your local indie. So like the whole, like we like to talk about when Cage was champion, it's like, do you just give it away every week? Do you just give it away on a house show, or do you save it for big spots? Because these guys' careers that we're seeing today, who knows how long these guys are going to hold up doing these kind of moves week after week, day after day.
You only get so many.
They're not meant to be done.
No,
yeah, they're not meant to be done. It's like a pitcher, like throwing, like the arm's not meant to throw 90-mile-an-hour curveballs. Like see you, Tommy John. Like that's going to happen.
No, you got to be careful because you only have so many bumps in the bump card. You can't. You can't play with fire that much. So it's interesting to see, man, who of this generation, some of these guys, how much longer they got, because they've taken some wicked bumps. But some of these guys, they keep going through the injury, and that's all they know.
They do. And I know earlier in the show, not even during, like when he was in the match, I felt a little bit better. But Dusty did a run-in earlier when all the commotion was going on. And just the way he came to the ring, I'm like, maybe it's time for Dusty not to be involved as much. Like he looked like, this is 03. I'm like, ooh, that was a struggle for Dusty. I think ever since kind of the Vader match, it's like he can still cut a mean promo, but maybe not as much in the ring work for you, Dusty. I'm starting to get worried about you.
Did he even get tagged in that 3-way?
Nah.
Or the 3-on-3?
Well, you find me a ref who's gonna tell Dusty to get out of the ring. You know what I mean? And you didn't tag in there, Dusty. Like, let me tell you, I booked everything. I booked the Dusty finish. I booked tagging and tag matches. Like there's no way a referee's gonna tell Dusty to get out of the ring because you didn't tag in. But you're right. He was hurting.
He was hurting. Like, and maybe this was just a schedule, but it looked like it was a struggle for him. And I'm like, I was feeling for him. I'm like, Dusty, head in the back. head in the back with the boys.
Yeah. He was pushing some weight at this point too.
He still goes. I mean, he makes it to Orlando. He's out of there in a couple years. Then he took a little time off. Then he went down to be the performance center coach for a while, promo coach. And then he passed in 2015. I want to say, right? 15 or him and Roddy.
It was 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
Him and Roddy died like the same year or a year apart, something like that.
Pretty cool. Yeah, that sounds about right.
And
I don't know off my head, but it was in that era.
Yeah, 15. He died. I think he died in June. That's what I'm saying. Then I think Roddy died in like September. It was crazy. Like they just died within like months of each other. Yeah, Roddy. No, like a month apart. One fucking month apart. Wow. It was Dusty and Roddy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was the year I went to go see the GFW show up in Appleton, and then later that summer we were going out to a friend's house to spend the weekend, have barbecue. We were literally driving up to the Fond du Lac area in Wisconsin, and my wife is on her phone, and she told me that Piper passed away. I almost had to pull over. I was like, oh man, that wrecked me.
Yeah,
I was overseas when it happened. I was like, son of a bitch, man, that one hit. That Piper hurts. And you look at the death. It says it was a heart attack caused by hypertension. I mean, is anybody surprised? Like I guess if he was gonna go, it was gonna be hypertension for Roddy. You know what I mean? Like it was. That's what he was. I mean, he was just that's what he was. What a legend. Dusty too. It was just fantastic. It's two legends. But yeah, Dusty is. I'm glad we get some years out of him in TNA though. We definitely.
I feel like I'm sure he thought this is my last run. So I'm like all in invested because you can see he's promo and he's doing matches almost every week, at least every other week. He's like in a match, but he's heavily involved week to week, and obviously for a company, an upstart company, a name like Dusty, NWA champion, it makes a lot of sense. But I'm like this is like the first time, like it's almost like Vader almost being worse off in that other match didn't really show that about Dusty, but this one, just because he was there with a lot of young guys at this point, it was like more evident. And it was like, oh man, Dusty.
Yeah, he look at it, he stays in TNA till 05, and then he heads over to get his Legends deal and Hall of Fame and all that stuff. So that was his pretty much last stretch. But yeah, man, that was it though, guys. That was 37. Who's gonna watch with us next week? 38 next week. Don't forget, definitely.
You out there can watch with us.
Absolutely. Get on Impact Plus. It's $8 a month.
Hey,
free 30-day
if they
trial.
haven't done it, free. Yeah, 30-day trial.
Trial.
You can get in 4 weeks with us. Come on.
Or you can blaze through. You can just watch a shit ton of them.
You're right. Somebody did that. Didn't somebody do that?
There was a guy who did that. Yeah, one of the. He listened to. He watched all of them. He blazed all 114. And
I'll tell you what, we were on like 10.
Yeah, we were on like 10. And he's like, I finished all of them. I'm like, finished all of what? He's like, all the TNA shows. I'm like, what? Like all of them? How's that possible? So like, yeah, he definitely finished all of them. That was pretty nuts, pretty fast. So you guys can do the same thing too. But there's 114. That's a lot of fucking wrestling. That's a lot of wrestling, boys. But let's go ahead and get the plugs in. Bill, where can people find you online?
You can find me at my name at William M. Gardner, Gardner, mainly on Twitter. I said on one of the other shows, same thing on Instagram. I am going to try, as I'm getting out to shows, maybe get some shots out there on there to start using that a little bit more. So stay tuned.
Nice. What about you, Jay? Where can people connect with you, your other shows?
Whenever I'm not on here, you can find me over in that other little podcast on YouTube called Smash This Podcast, where we're smashing all things wrestling. We just wrapped up another review of AEW with my new best friend, my compadre for the AEW reviews, Mr. Basil, and yeah, I've been doing a lot of just like I don't have a lot of energy on the shows lately. I'll be honest, and I'm sorry for that. So I just kind of do a lot of Q&As lately. It's how I try to stay consistent with being on it, podcasting and stuff. But I try to keep up with news and stuff. I'm back and forth with WWE stuff, and But we're getting some wrestling back. That looks like some different companies are starting to get the itch to try stuff. So I might be doing some different stuff soon. We'll have to wait and see what's on the docket for J-Bone.
There you go. Very nice. Guys are going to follow me at Trent Zuberi right here on Twitter. Get a hold of me there. And the show is scrolling across the bottom of your screen at We Talk Impact on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Connect with us. Type in Total Nonstop Impact. We come up on everything. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Definitely share your feedback, share your thoughts. Audio listeners, we can be available. We're available on all audio formats, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify. Rate, review, subscribe. If you leave a cool rating on iTunes or something, I'll read it on the show. I'll definitely read on the show and give you a shout out. ProWrestlingTees.com, / Total Nonstop Impact. Look like Bill's wearing the throwback shirt. 3 designs, couple more coming up. ProWrestlingTees.com / Total Nonstop Impact. What else am I missing? Missing something. Oh, let's do the schedule here. So, guys, Thursday nights, Throwback Thursday is the Throwback Show. We do NWA-TNA reviews, as you saw. Number 38 is next week. Sunday nights is the Impact Plus Weekly. It's the explosion talk and kind of open forum shoot around for about an hour and a half. And then Tuesday nights, flagship show, everybody. The granddaddy of them all. Impact on Access TV, Total Nonstop Impact review. We go on with Kaylon and Alicia, 3 of us along with them. Full on. If you want to keep the party going from Impact that just aired, we do another 2 hours, and then we do a third bonus hour just on Twitter of After Dark. So we party for 3 more hours after Impact is off the air. It's pretty
we're partying even before it while it's on the air. We're partying.
That's right. Now, Bill, plug that.
We do every week, every Tuesday, we do a live airing of the Impact on Access TV show on Twitch. We do the Twitch stream, co-stream, and we do that every Tuesday. And as you saw last Tuesday, maybe technical difficulties might come up. We unlock the keys to the kingdom. We can always provide a feed of the Impact on Access TV. So come watch with us. We'll be breaking down stuff during commercial breaks. We'll do a little lead in probably about 10 minutes before the show. Me and J-Bone normally kick off maybe, but in that range, maybe just lay it out real quick. But yeah, it's a good time. We get a lot of people in there, and then just stick with us all night. Because really, as Trent just said, we're going with a 2-hour review. We're going with an hour after dark. You can spend conceivably 5 to 6 hours with us on a Tuesday.
We're your new best friends, guys.
Yes.
Quick question from Gary asking, are we doing emergence predictions at all? You know what? Nothing formal. I think we'll do it on the shoot around on Sunday.
Yeah, probably.
I know someone who's doing emergence predictions.
Oh, who's doing that, J-Bone?
J-Bone's doing emergence predictions over on Smash's podcast this coming weekend. I don't have the schedule set up. I'm trying to work stuff out with a guest I'm going to have on, but I'll be doing them. Yes. I'm hoping we can figure out maybe a few more. I don't know if I'm going to be doing the full 2-night predictions or just one. So, but either way, I'll at least do one.
All right, well, join Jay for that one, guys. And then on Sunday, we'll probably throw a couple out there ourselves, too, while we're just kind of shooting around. We'll just present the match, shoot him around, and Jay can recap what he talked about. But watch Jay's live. I assume you're going to go live, Jay?
Always live.
Always live, baby. So follow Jay on the weekend. All right, guys. That's going to do it for us. We appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with the Throwback. I love this. This is probably one of my favorite. I love the flagship's great, but I love reliving these old days, man. So it's a lot of fun. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We really, really appreciate it. Hope you have fun. Remember, get your Impact Plus and watch 38 for next week and tag all the people I told you to tag. Trinity, Goldie, Vince, Russo, Impact, Scott Demore, Don. Tag them all. Let them know what we're doing. We're talking this stuff. Tag all these
all love.
Show them love. Tag. Put the new church out there. Just make some fucking noise about the product. And remember, end everything with the hashtag Impact on Access TV, because that gets it in the main. That's the main hashtag. A lot of people you're leaving food on the table, guys. If you don't put that hashtag on, put that. That's their main. That's the one they use now. So put it out there.
Yeah, and it's tougher. There's a lot of things starting to go on. A lot of stuff, politics going on, sports going on. So yeah, we got to keep them up because that's huge. Like the social media with wrestling is a huge thing today. So they need our support. So
plus, if you're talking Impact, your best place to get seen is that hashtag. You know, that's the one that they push the most. So get your stuff in there, let it circulate in there. But promote them, guys.
Even if you're going out in public for the first time in a long time, you've been in quarantine for months like myself, you're doing a food selfie, bam, Impact on Access TV.
That's right. That's right.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. We will talk to you later. See you Sunday night for the Impact Plus Weekly. Have a great weekend, everybody. Good night.
Find me the name of this garbage show again that I'm on.
Total nonstop impact.
My name's John, capital letter E, period, Bravo, and you're listening to the Total Nonstop Impact Podcast.
This is the jaw-jacking Tuesday Night Impact, and his mother called him son because he shines like one. Mocha Skin Manimal, Rohit Raju, and you are watching Total Nonstop Impact.
This is Taya La Güera Loca, and you are listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
The Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and you're listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
We are the Rascals. And you are listening to Total
Nonstop
Impact Podcast, baby.
Woo! And what you're really listening to is Total Nonstop Impact. Don't you dare miss a lesson. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.